All righty, everyone. Good evening. I'm your buddy, your pal, your sleep-deprived friend, Josh. Nice to be with you tonight on a pretty nice night. Cold outside, though, isn't it? Let me get the graphics off the screen there, and we'll jump into this thing. So we've got two things to really that are headliners here. We have a risk of strong to severe thunderstorms around the state on Friday. Then we have a huge change to cold air next week that could involve wintry weather possibilities, mainly over the northern part of the state. So let's jump straight into the maps here. This is the latest run, and we've got a new one coming out now. We'll have it in a couple of hours. I'll go over it late tonight and update you tomorrow on what it says. But this is the afternoon run of the American Long-Range Computer Model. And you see what I see here. You've got a big, deep, strong area of low pressure over the Great Lakes. That's the one that brought all the nasty weather to us. Cold air coming in on the back side of it. Would you believe me if I told you it's actually snowing in parts of Alabama right now as a result of that same system? Yeah, don't believe me? Well, here, let me show you. So this is radar, and I'll make it big. So look at this. These are snow showers flying at places like Scottsboro and Stevenson, south end of Huntsville. Monsanto, the big mountain up there in Huntsville, ground's white right now. How about that? Over towards south end of Chattanooga up in the North Georgia mountains. These are all areas of light snow. It's snowing now at Lynchburg. Yeah, the Jack Daniels distillery. Ground turning white there. Fayetteville, Tennessee, same thing there. So this is an active pattern, and we had a tornado. We had several tornadoes around the state yesterday. Now it's snowing. If you're new to Alabama, welcome. We've got fun and games. All right, so that system departs, and we have several calm days. Let me show you. So this is Thursday that you see here. It's cold, it's dry. Wednesday's the same thing. Wednesday, Thursday, cold, dry days. Low 50s is all we'll manage on Wednesday. Low 60s on Thursday. Then we get to Friday, and would you look at this? Does this all look and sound familiar? You've got a very deep area of low pressure over Arkansas, snowing heavily across the Central Plains, warm air surging in out of the Gulf of Mexico ahead of it, and a line of thunderstorms pushes across Alabama Friday. This is noon Friday, and this is a pretty typical severe weather kind of look. Now, the devil's always in the details with these patterns, but the way the features are placed on the map is supportive of severe weather. Big, strong area of low pressure. In fact, I'll do a little more. We'll do a little deeper dive on this. So that's the surface map. Surface low up here near Paducah, Kentucky. Okay. Next thing we would look for would be warm air coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico. Check. It's 70 degrees. All the way up to Highway 80. Strong wind blowing in out of the south. That is supportive of strong to severe storms. Okay, let's go up to a little higher than that. Low-level jet stream. We measure it in knots, 50 to 60 knots. That's stout. In the mid-levels, 500 millibar, you got a big, deep, long-wave trough, little jet streak right there. Rounding the base of it, it'll show up better here at 300 millibars. Alabama would be eventually in the right rear quadrant of that jet streak right there. That's just when we say jet streak, that just means an area where the jet stream winds are really accelerating in there. So, yeah, the moral of the story here is I think there will be fewer storms on Friday. It won't be as widespread. You know, every square inch of Alabama got drenched with this last system. The one on Friday, it's more scattered stuff, but that may not be a good thing. There will be a lot of wind shear around. There will be some storms around, and unfortunately, I think this may be another high-impact weather event. So a first alert for Friday for the risk of a few strong to severe thunderstorms popping around the state. Yeah, I get it. You don't like it any better than I do. So that's just where we are in this pattern. It's going to happen again, I'm afraid, as we get on into Friday. Okay, so then your attention turns to what happens after that. And the quick answer is it's pretty darn interesting. So let me show you how this plays out. Again, this is the GFS computer model. We'll go back to the surface chart here. And what that'll do is walk us through how this all evolves. Okay, so this is valid Friday. So we'll go back there. Okay, so here's Friday. Big, deep, strong storm system. Potentially some severe weather. The good news is on Friday, I think that would happen during the daytime, during the daylight hours. That blows through. It's much colder for the upcoming weekend. Cold and dry. Upslope snow showers in the Smoky Mountains. Yeah, I think the higher elevations around Gatlinburg, the ground will turn white there on Saturday. Then we get to Sunday. It's a cold, dry day. But then here comes the Arctic cold front. And boy, oh boy, is this thing going to cause some trouble. This is Sunday evening. You'll notice out ahead of it, we have initially some light rain. And what happens next depends on which model you believe. But there's a window here where that rain will mix with or change over to ice or snow. Primarily, I think, along and north of a line from, we'll say, Tuscaloosa to Birmingham to Anniston. Sunday night into Monday morning. This could be an accumulating snow scenario as far south as Muscle Shoals, Russellville, Coleman, Fort Payne, Chattanooga, Nashville, North Georgia mountains. But the big story locally probably is the colder air. This is going to be a shock to the system kind of scenario. Let me zoom you in here and show you what I mean. So we'll go straight to it. So this is valid Monday at noon. And just watch what happens here within this. I'll throw the numbers up on the screen where you can see them. And I'll walk you through this. So it's a cold weekend, like we said. So here is Sunday night. Here's Monday morning. And this is just going to be ripping a Band-Aid off. So at 3 a.m. Monday, look at this. It's 49 at Montgomery. It's 17 at Florence, 22 at Huntsville. Montgomery goes from 44 at 6 a.m. to 32 at 9 a.m. We rebound into the mid-30s there Monday afternoon, and then the bottom drops out Monday night into Tuesday morning. Lows in Montgomery, again, if this is taken at face value, would be right around 20, with mid to upper teens in the colder pockets north and west of downtown Montgomery. Then it would be raw and cold on Tuesday. We would struggle to get into the 40s, and then another hard freeze ahead for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, back into the low and mid-20s. So this would be the type of weather that could potentially cause pipes to burst if you don't take those kind of precautions. Again, this would be a little past the end of the 7-day forecast we show you on TV. This would be out there around next Tuesday into next Wednesday. So as the graphic said at the top of this, double trouble is the phrase we're using to describe this whole thing, because you've got not only the risk of severe thunderstorms on Friday, you also have the chance of some really, really cold air coming in early next week. So we'll dive into the questions here. Here we go again. Yeah, it could be, unfortunately. Will the wind be as high on Friday as it was today in the non-thunderstorms? It could be, Gino. Yeah, the reason the wind will be so high is what's something called the pressure gradient force. And the reason we get that is because there's a strong area of low pressure. So, I think you could definitely end up with another day where we have wind gust up in the 30s anyway. And could we get into the 40s? Yeah, maybe not quite as strong as the Friday deal, but it's going to be close. It will be a very windy day Friday. Really, you'll notice it pick up Thursday night. And then that wind will really crank up on Friday. So as strong, maybe not, but still really impactful, really noticeable. So there you go. This is the Arctic blast we've been waiting on so far this winter. Yeah, waiting, something like that. Beyond says, I'm moving. Alabama's weather is like a toxic relationship. That's a great point. You're right on the money with that. You are right on the money. What's the future view looking like for Friday? Sean, it's actually updating right now, and I will have a new look at that new future view data on WSFA 12 News at 10, which starts in 5 minutes. You can watch it on the First Alert weather app. You can watch it on your television. If you stream, just go to Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, wherever you stream, search WSFA, download the app. You can watch all of our newscasts there live as well. If all of that fails, you just go to WSFA.com/live stream, one word, and you can watch the newscast there. So I will show all of that future view look on Friday coming up in just a couple of minutes. Any snow in the forecast? What about the S word? Is there any snow? Buffalo native here wanting snow. Here, I doubt it. Now, I'll show you the raw data just so we're completely transparent here, but I suspect that it's probably a little overdone with the snow here. So this would be, let's zoom you ahead in time here. This would get you, okay, so this is Sunday night. You get a wintry mix down into Marengo County. Get a little, this would be kind of, what this would show would be sort of like it rains for a while, and then right at the very end of it, there's a few wet snowflakes or sleet pellets on the tail end. Now, in North Alabama, this would be a different animal. This could be probably a 2 to 4 inch type snow Florence, Russellville, Coleman, Huntsville, Fort Payne, Chattanooga. So up there, this could be an accumulating snow scenario Sunday night into Monday. We will note, though, the other main long-range computer model in this mix is the European. Let me show that to you. So this is Arctic front. That's the Friday storm system. More scattered storms, but they could be more intense. Maybe a higher tornado threat into the central counties there on Friday too. Then you get to Sunday, and it's a similar look. It's more of an ice setup for the Tennessee Valley, ending a snow, and down where we live, it would just be a cold rain, followed by that huge change to colder air. The Europeans on board with that. So snow is a very questionable part of this, particularly as far south as Montgomery. I suspect if there's wintry weather out of this, it would be up in the northern part of the state, but we'll watch and see. The bigger story, frankly, is the more really punch in the face there in terms of the cold. It's really going to be very abrupt, very noticeable. Again, this will be Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. All right, so I'm going to wind this thing down and get you ready for WSFA 12 News at 10, which starts in about 3 minutes. Mark and Val will have all of the news. We'll show you some of the crazy things that happened last night and this morning with that severe weather episode. We have some pretty incredible flooding video from the Prattville area. We had a fatality related to a tornado down in Houston County. Rosie Langella will have sports too. So news, sports, weather, all coming up. Again, you can watch that in 2 minutes on WSFA 12 News at 10. I appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit. Appreciate you watching last night as well as we kind of walked you through those severe storms and the flooding and the heavy rain and the heavy wind. And now we may do it again on Friday. So just first alert, heads up. Friday could be bumpy. It will turn sharply colder next week. And I will